There's an up-and-coming band coming on the stage I'll play for you. They're called U2!
Lábrá saoirigh ní lúna san 1985. Buineach get as an lucht fiochanna ag an larc by the lí I ggurcaig, nuair a tháinig U2 stáitse gan chuine. Bhí sé dam go príomha le buchas a gháil le muintir chorcaí as an dacaíocht a thug siad an bhana sna blianta tosaigh. Ag deireadh na 70idí agus tús na 80idí, chur U2 go mór le na lucht leanú na dílis nuair a hain siad go rialta ag cuirmeacha an UCC downtown campus san Arcadia Ballroom I ggurcaig.
The Arcadia was the biggest regular gig in Ireland at the time.
Is Kinter gur chuig U2 I bhain anmhór an lucht féchanna san Arc.
It was like almost a love affair between the audience and the band.
Linge an áid.
Cork people knew music. They were open to new sounds.
Ba áit iontach spéisiúil an Arc agus am eile áit eile bhí an.
When you talk about pivotal moments, it certainly was one when, in September 1976, Larry Mullen pinned a notice to the notice board in Mount Temple Comprehensive School on the north side of Dublin. And as a result, a bunch of people gravitated to an initial recording session in Larry's house. And after a bit of jostling for position, a four-piece emerged. They started out as feedback, they became the hype, and then they became U2. They went about the sort of business of trying to be a rock band with a very particular determination and ambition and desire.
Tris Punka Harlú, cuigmid o black and white go colour, Lyric. Níor bhéin rialacán, níor mór an buint le Dini Frosta san sin Blackley and no san tír fad. We miss an band of Rocky Devil Air and the Gravediggers. Bhí na Sinners Temple, the Fabulous Fabrics, the Blades, DC9, the Radiators from Space and Cade's punk band. In Éireann is them, Agus U2 Darnay. She had a rud of testing that gach aine was record contracts in the UK, Agus making it.
And it was against that background that Hot Press launched. That there was a sense that if you could make a decent noise, then you were entitled to be up on stage, and there was a possibility that you could speak to a huge audience all around the world if a few things fell into place.
Just get on down to New Orleans, the best town you've ever seen. Head on down to the riverbed, that's where the music never ends. Just open your ears, and don't you feel good? Get the sound of shine, rhythm and blues.
An socha ggurcaig sna 7 déanacha be Rory Gallagher an rí. Bhí anna grá agan de Rory agus sin sé gig mór uair sa bhliain. Bhí cúpla gig eile ón chomá agus in UCC bhí giganna agus bhí ENS officer Anna Dhéagraseach fadacha in Elvira Butler.
I started running the gigs in October 76, you know. The Campus Kitchen, which is a venue we ran on college, it was a cafe. And you had bands like The Foam from Limerick and some of the local bands, I'd say, like Sleepy Hollow.
Bhí sé faoin fuirgin bhóliaachta in UCC faoi láthair an Cain Building. Bosca, Dorocha, Bosca Ísel, bhí sé intimate.
Peter Prendergast approached us to say that the Arcadia was there if we felt like moving down there. So I just thought that was a great idea. It would give us freedom to run all year round. We moved there in around the 24th, 23rd of November, 77.
An Arcadia Ballroom, no, an Arc, mar déir fá ggurcaig. Bhí sé site an bóthir íochtar os cóirmach an stáisiún trénach. Agus tógach 1904 le Winter Prendergast. Dúsáid Winter Chorcaí mar, áid sosiálta é. Anna gigs bhí an ritna cléigadís na seascadaí, bhí na showbands ag tachtan cosú leis na Dixies. Bhí sé Dorocha, Le haig devlíonn nó mar san ribh tacht an Aontas na Maclean agus Elvira Butler agus inis árasán de Maclean town.
Well, the Arcadia was like a big airplane hangar from the Second World War, and the Americans had taken all their B-52s back.
Is so is Hallamore fada bhí an státe Beiger sus go dtí do winneal nuair dhégan agus an sin thuastair a bhí an balcony agus détá seaú thuastair agus féchant síos an grúpa freisin. Agus ar nói ag an am bhí gachtain na caiithú toitiní. Bhí sé lán le toit agus corpanna agus daoine, so nuair bhí sé lán, bhí sé iontach lán.
And I call it the downtown campus in order to kind of connect with the college. But it meant that it was much more accessible to non-students as well. And there was actually a very good audience. I suppose the sense of community was always very important to me. So it wasn't just people coming to watch a band.
The choig Elvira an atmosphere and son. The Hang An Arc Gomurlams agus bhí an bhí na scitamíní ormsa bheith an gach and bheith annachchuid students an na Maclean agus bhí lads thuaisceart na Cathrach an nuas chun píosa crackabecha.
Bhí punks agus rockers agus líne go bhreail ó reggae agus ní a bhean deachán gandát ach bhí amspread agus ceilúir agus cordachas san áit.
Gomininic héad gachtain na Ag An Arc. Chumar ro sim áirithe agad in san grúpa na nachró is áit le dul. So ar an slí sin bhí cross-pollination éigen a tarland idir na grúpi difriúil nach darlót, Beiger, gan é.
For a band like U2, it was an ambition straight away to play downtown campus. This would mark a sort of strategic moment in the development of the band.
Story for young people. There's a place I go that takes me far away. There's a TV show where I can grow.
U2's first time playing support to XTC meant that they had a good audience, but also an audience that were into kind of good music because XTC were a very interesting band. I do remember that night, U2 getting £18 as their first, the first time down.
Ag an am, níro aichne U2 chorabí. Agus níro túra magam cad é, U2. So bhí just na hifracha se go léir an litir, U2, XTC, bhí sé cos le algebra dom, Agus, so chuimid ag an gig sin, agus bhealach, níl mór an cifní agam the U2, like níor híl me, tá sí seo dá chreite. Níor híl me sin. Bhí me John chun an gig seo ecail, agus bhí na daoine seán, agus bhí sé dá bhaile clia. Agus nuair bhí me smíú siar, bhí mé an bhfuil sin ceart, gur mé siad a sinnam gur support band gachtainna ag am éigen, nuair bhíonn siad a tosnú,
These groups would be coming over to Ireland and U2 and the Virgin Prunes, and they would all be put in the sentences with these groups. So you have a sense of movement, you have a sense of something happening, and it comes out of, at that stage, absolutely live performance, a mixing and matching, U2 supporting XTC, supporting these kind of groups. These incredibly hard-working, prescient promoters like Elvira are so important because they were like what we would now, in an unwieldy way, called kind of curating an experience. It didn't feel like that at the time. It was just very clever booking, expressing very good taste. Over time, you realise that their taste was spot on.
The next time U2 were down was supporting The Only Ones. We had them back a couple of months later, playing headlining with the local band supporting.
Siadíon mé héan agus má grúpa support the U2 san Arc. Bini an chéad úr gur dhéanamh headline gig ann, bhí sé saléir gur áidir difriúil os na grúpaí eile. Bhíidir anna gáiríre agus anna profisiúnta agus bhíidir treis gig eile a dhéanamh an lá céanna sa Dandelion Market im Lá Clia.
Ach bhí rud éigen a bhí sais níl sogam an cadach líthir integrity Beiger a bhí acu nuair bhí siad ar an státe. ag an ámóthaí mé nach raibh siad chomh buartha ar bhealach meallar cumad suas le cad a bhí, cad a bhí daoine eile súil leis. Is daoine an tahéine agus nuair bhí siad ar an stáitse. Bhí sé iontach níl sagam ón crí, rud ag an críomhfuil a buint le cearc leor.
Bhí foiine bhean, bhí stáil ann, agus bhí si gcónaí ag scríomh áránaí nua, smaoiníonn siad meallar a ceol, agus a lot of the rest of us were just rocking away our lives. Bhí goal acu, bhí vision acu, bhí mission acu, agus bhí sé sin soléir ag an am sin.
Bhí anna chadrih adrathe agus an lucht a bhí san hala. Bhí anna cheolmhar, bhí anna cliste, bhí a glinge go raibh future mór acu.
When I was watching U2, I could feel what was happening between them and the audience. And I said, there's something happening here, that this is different, this is special. I was in ABC radio at the time, so I went up to Bono after the gig and I said, do you have a demo? The next night I put it on. The next time that U2 came down, people were asking for the songs. Bono's we only came, once before. How do you know our songs? Someone pointed me out, so Bono came over to thank me. And I said, you're going to be big. And then he was walking away. I turned around and I said, send me the album. And he said, that'll be the day. I said, sooner than you think.
Ag deir na seachtóidí, leanú tú ortha ag tuairt cuairt rialta ar an UCC Downtown Campus san Arcadia i Gcorcaigh. Nearthaíoch an nas go bhí an mana le lucht féchan na Arc. Gach úr I dillidar.
There's probably something in the water in Cork. Cork audiences were different and did liberate people from this sort of sense of excessive scrutiny that would often apply in Dublin or in London. So it enabled them to be themselves, experiment a bit more. It certainly became part of the journey of development for U2.
Hogan Arcadia seansíntach the U2. Thug sé seanstáh teacht go Corcaigh agus sena a gur gig níos mó Beidir ag an am ná a bheith acu I maiile clia. Agus is slí céine go raibh muintear Corcaigh nó agus Elvír agus na daoine agus campus agus sin go léir go raibh siad abalta an de seo thuirt na grúpa ceáil seo teachtíos agus senaman seo.
It was always safe to ask like A&R people or a journalist to come and review you at the Arcadia because you knew there was going to be a big crowd there. But you also had, of course, like a decent-looking stage. You had a sound man who was like, more than capable, as in Joe Hurley, who went on to work with you too, as did all our stagehands. So, you had a really kind of professional setup. So obviously you two capitalised on that. We had Paul Morley there from The Enemy.
It's 37 years ago now, but my enduring memory of Bono and U2 that night was that they played and performed like superstars. And that everything that they have become was already there. There was nothing that would have come later that would have surprised you about the way Bono performed, about the way that he acted, that kind of weird mixture of arrogance and hope and, seduction and edge and anxiety. The way that the group performed was so powerful, and it was an extraordinary experience. And so if you happen to catch them on a night like that in 79, 80, 81, those early days, you were basically seeing U2 in full flight, even before the success and the machinery and everything around it. You were seeing a very powerful unit with fronted by a primitive but still incandescent superstar.
An rud a hanglumm le U2 san am san ná an sort ceola bhí déanamh Partner bhí album boy cosúla Out of Control agus boy girl ach bhí partneile cosúla Trevor Dream is Over, Cartoon World, bhí sport le an ceol agus screenlam greengrafna hógant agus sédlam na setlist éiscint na greengrafna son.
Agus faoin ara go raibh bear na mór anna ar an chéad legan de YouTube ar a bhí fechtagam sa blian an riverson agus an legan a bhí ar siúil ar an stáid. Nu chuir sé mór an óna orm san í go bhhuiine ar an méid sin clú agus cáil amach mar de bhí hena héin a bhí an éid do chreite mar gitáirs. An méid sin smacht a bheith ag ar cuasaí fuama agus mar sin de do chreite an fios a bhí tagar.
The audience were kind of being exposed to exciting bands week after week. And they started then thinking, well, you know, that they'd like to play.
Elvira agus a fear céile, Andy, viidir mar hismathóirí doing ar bhealach. Mar viidir an a cabharach, de gachéine tá mé cheap agus tá mé foioi camínacha ar bhealach. Mar thugad an a chuid chansan a dún bhí mar gur léir anna óg son ní dócha gur hiige mar mórál marall ar an saoil. Thug sí cabhar doing agus cothú agus dóchas.
Bhí mis mar bhil de bhana ceol darabanam mín features le Mick Lynch, Pat Keller agus Steve Donoghue. An cuioine tá gomsa ar ná Gurbiad Ricky Deneen agus Finbar Donnelly, Non-Attacks, na Trailblazers ar an taobh ó thuaigh de Carpal Chorcaí.
Duine an héine Donnelly, the character an a war aige, duine an spéisiúil. You know, bhí oglar a lán daoine faoi, bhí cuma sais scanrúil ar bhealach aigen, bhí sé sais bhí a ghruig bartha, you know, bhí sé sais ór, agus bhí sé géirí rála daoine seo mé, tá mé an seo, fé chorm, you know, seo mise. Duine an a chríúil, bhí guch dochreite aige.
An rudí, you know, Donnelly, ná go gluisigh sé anna chuid frásaí típan na catharach ar nás cumir what's in there natin okay sound agus buineadh sé úsáid asta in óhráin.
But also for those bands to see the best of the English bands coming in was kind of like it was like going to college for them. So they were watching all the English bands coming in, bands who were at the top of their game, and they were learning from them as well.
I used to stand in front of the guitarist no matter who the band was, and I started to learn. That's how I learned chords, by watching other people. So Saturday night was a big thing.
Well, mar luid me hena bhí Elvira agus Andy go huntach chun cuidir le gachéine agus hanad ar iníos le plán album a chur amach agus na bands chorcaí a fáid a bheith an album.
An cuioine tá go mar sin ná bhí mar an mu I garden aigen agus gardioléire ag túnáil na gitar. Yeah, bhí party atmosphere ceart an ihe sin.
Bhí me anna bharálachas agus chula mé review ar an radio an San RTA. Mar hardíonn fios a gobaile le hismathóirí I hemdínéir agus chula mé a mír an radio. And now a new album that's just been released from Cork.
Well, I rithna bhíanana bhí annach chuid ihe speisialta going agus más clínlam ihe go háirithe a tháinig The Beat and the Specials go Agus An Arc. Sais an cheola bhí a chu ná two-tone. Má bháthir a rinne an bíadáil. So bhí stú agus bhí cíiste mór two-tone, cosúla checkerboard, dus na bhainní agus bhíidir an sásta leis.
Bhí íchianta ítach in San Arcadia leis na reggae bands agus na Cimarrons go hairí, is chuir mé go minic. Bhí gachtainna sais ítach le chéile, actually ins na gig sin, níl agam an sais vibe an hain a bhíon ins na reggae gigs, ach bhí gachtainna níos mó le chéile ag na gig sin cinse, ná mar a bhéo ag gig eile.
A le héad de cultúr mar luigh me hena ar bh ag teach chuing ag an am. Go dhéfas a John Ottaway éiscint láháin, agus Cimarrons an lá dar gceann. Bheadh John Ottaway cas an bhailín go donna chamáil a gachéin éile scaidíal, an microphone is stigan san rá aige.
Tá sé chuid mór don ceolchuirm gan éon léana bheith bhí an stáite is an Arcadia aníisiil, so bhí daoine tarachara agus bhíidir léimt agus seint san am céan agus bhí anaí againn.
The gigs at the Arcadia finished in May 81. There was that awful Stardust fire in February of that year. People became maybe apprehensive about going into large venues after that. There's like a lot of uncertainty about how safe places were. What was also happening at that stage was the hunger strikes in the north, and a lot of English bands were cancelling their tours. The atmosphere just wasn't the same anymore.
Ach bhí sé ar bhar réime nuair a dúna é. Bhí sé fósaigh imeach, bhí sé fós go húntaach, bhí mar fósaigh buin tanamhas, ach ní ra bhéon ráha ag Elvíreach na dúirtí a dúna agus closure.
Ba bhór an chailúint gur tháinig deire leis an downtown campus, chuaimar go léir ar oigh le Narsale, chuig Elvíre Butler ar oigh chun Ricus Records a chur le chéile, agus chuig U2 ar oigh chun an domhan a chur féchais.
I think when U2 started, the talk would be that they wanted to be huge. The truth would be, who knew? And things were just happening very quickly. And so they were in a world that could finish at any minute, but they also were in a world where they thought on the quiet, yes, why can't we be like the Rolling Stones? Why can't we go on for a long time? So I think it was all mixed up together. Sheer ambition and determination mixed with a sense of adventure and mixed with a sense that this could be over at any moment. Let's really enjoy it while we can.
Ba ardán úntacha an arc de U2 óg ag an am, mar thug sé taithídóibh ar bheith déan gig an na móra do locht féchan na mór, bhíidir ag fás agus ag forbert an son, agus chuidir ar roiig an son chun an bua a bhainteach go hiidir náisiúnta.
There's no simple answer in terms of asking why are you too successful, but they ultimately make great records that made a huge contribution to music in Ireland and to music across the world. And you can trace that in a significant way back to what was going on in Ireland in the late 1970s and to a place like Downtown Campus, which provided an inspiration and a platform, not just for U2, but for musicians all over Ireland.